Okay, so just an update where we are. I too thought I'd be further along than this, but I was asked to down tools 2.5 weeks before Christmas, otherwise I get no presents. So I did. This section's all finished now. This is the inset for the wife's bookcase. We rebuilt a pier in engineering bricks. Did a lot of repointing of the existing wall of the house. This is a solid 9-inch wall, imperial bricks. So it rebuilt a pier, keyed it into this, keyed it into that, and also used chemical ties as well to really strengthen the house up, because later on there's a big oak porch going here. All this horrible 60s stuff is coming off. There's going to be a big oak porch, which I'll probably do a video over that. So we put a lintel in, sitting on that pier there. There is still a strong buoy and an acro there holding it up because this wall is incomplete. So there's only minimal weight on there. These are just simple metric imperial bricks. None of this gets seen because the floor joists are going across here. Okay, where you can see the original oak beam of the house, which was just absolutely shot rotten, and it wasn't an oak beam; it was more of an oak trunk. It wasn't even proper, really. It tapered so badly, and it was terrible. So it's not worth saving. It is going to turn into a log store, which will be in a later video. Anyway, joists go across here. The full weight of the chimney is coming down here. Okay, these are 7.2 kilonewton bricks. There's a lot of weight in there. I did it all in concrete. These are 3.2, so you've only got, these are low bearing. This section of the wall non-low bearing here. So all you've got is that sole weight there, which is keyed into chimney, and it's also chemical fixed and keyed into that wall there with ties. And so lintel that size is perfectly fine. Okay, none of this is, like I say, is on show. The joists go across there, so we will have a flush ceiling coming all the way across there, so it'll look nice with a oak bookcase in there. Here we can see the original fire again. There's the original arch, which we have agreed now to keep. So although all this wall is disappearing in time, we will be putting an original, very simple arch back in there with the sunken fire, which I've shown you before, which is there. Okay. But I'm trying to keep the half as small as I can, like it would have been. But I'm having a bit of trouble complying with the regs as well for distance as halves, which we'll go into later. But that's what I'm still toying with that. I'm trying to make it look as farm worker cottage, which is what this was, as I possibly can. I don't want to go too grand with it. So yeah, we've got to have a little think about that. So that's that. That's with that one. That's beside the wall. Coming round here, we've got acros in now. The reason being, we were digging very close and very below the pier. This pier is coming out again, and I've got to put a bigger slab in there. This was temporary other side of the fireplace. These blocks we had for Christmas, and we had all ornaments. This is the oak beam, lovely oak beam that's come with us from a previous house. We redone a previous house, and basically we kept the oak beam and put in, for us personally, the old English style, a less desirable modern fire in. So I obviously took this with us because it's beautiful. There's the Oast Russets by Weinberger, or however you say it, previously Bagridge, laid in Flemish bond. Okay, so all of these bond bricks going across. Okay, many of those I have picked up to do the wife's inset bookcase. We've got this flush look that we wanted going across here. It's all going to be flush all across there. I didn't want no steps or anything. And with the bookcase on the other side, obviously that wall will be flush. Hence why I wanted to keep the fireplace on the other side in as far as I could. So that beam will go across there. This pier will be rebuilt, as I said previously. It was appallingly built. I rushed it to get the steel in. The bricks were wet. The cement was wet. But it doesn't matter anyway, even if it was good. It's got to come out now we're doing this, because we've got to build a like-for-like pier on the other side. There'll be a set of bricks going across here, and the mantelpiece will be that deep. So a lovely, lovely, deep, very deep mantelpiece we'll have. I'm having a bit of trouble at the moment complying with the regs on the pipe diameter to the distance from the beam, which obviously I'll go through when we're at that point. But I can't get it to meet the regs, so we might have to go twin wall or think of something creative that complies. Yeah, because I have got somebody, I think, coming round when all this is done to certify it. I'm hoping building control will do it. They said they'd do it, but I know they're going to be pretty hot on these distances between this and the flue. So all this is new. Like I said, these are all 7.2 kilonewton blocks, so they're all concrete. There's a lot of weight there, and they're sat on acros at the moment, so there's nothing holding the backside of this chimney up, which you've seen previously when on the previous video. Not viewed by a lot, so you might want to go back and watch that. We're going to punch a hole in here, tap into the new flue that I've built at the flue side of the chimney, and this is going to feed this fire, hidden all behind here, behind this wall, because the oak beam's there and there'll be a wall there, and the other side of the chimney, the other flue, will join to the one on the other side. So that's where we are. We did have an unfortunate setback. I know the light's poor in here, but we've got no electric in here as yet at the moment. In the end, I had to go down 800 centimetres on the whole of this. It's backfill with 800 centimetres worth depth of concrete and rebar and insulation. Insulation where there was no load bearing, that is. Obviously, I haven't got insulation underneath there, but other sections there's insulation in there. The reason being, we found, there was on the previous video, we've got the fireplace that we found in here. That come out. So that was 500 mil down. We then started to find land drains, clay, hand main land drains and soakaways, and the ground was really, really wet. So this was an extension, this section here, just this section, in 1954 put on, and it simply was just slapped on. It was actually worse than the original part of the house. This part of the house here was the original part of the house. It was a two cottage semi that was knocked through in 1940, and in 1954 this was the outside garden. They put this on, so hence why there was soakaways and land drains. So there's the chimney that I've rebuilt, new pots, everything, the whole lot's all brand new, all new bricks, everything, all new dental cores down here. You can see brand new dental cores going across here, new windows. Like I say, it's all new, and it doesn't come out very well because I'm quite zoomed in. You can see it's a twin flue chimney all the way down, total separate ones. Here's the two land drains that were found. Now these went right through the extension of the house, all handmade. See a little join where they joined it up. And there's a larger one. Okay, now these were actually under the house, flowing water through the house, which explains why we had so much damp. So we took these complete sections out. They actually stopped inside the house as well, so any water that was draining off our fields were kind of stopping in there. They weren't the sole ones, but they were part of the original system that was severed when they built the house, the 1954 house. Right, I'll update you in due course. Thank you.